And one of the things I really love about our show on Tuesdays is we get to meet with one of the business leaders in the community and talk a little bit about their company, their business, how they're creating that great team spirit, how they're growing, they're expanding their footprint. It's all kinds of really interesting things that folks in the business community think about and talk about all the time, and we get to do it and make radio out of it. It's called the CEO Spotlight, brought to you by Vaaler Insurance, and we are thankful to have in studio with us this morning Matt Leiseth. He is the general manager at Hornbacher. We just call him the boss man whenever we go over there, and he's always got a great perspective on what's going on. You know, can you get good peaches this time of year, that kind of thing, and then also what's going on with the grocery community in this region. So we're thankful to have him in here. Matt, thanks very much for coming in. Great to see you again. Thanks for coming in.
Great to see you. Thanks for having me today.
You got it. I'm just going to sneak that.
Move that mic right up there, buddy.
Perfect.
There you
go.
Go.
So tell me, I love your story, first of all, because you can't have a better story about starting in just the basic reaches of the company and then making it all the way to the top. Tell us about your story, Matt.
Well, like many people, I just got a job bagging at the downtown Moorhead Hornbacher store because I was in college and I needed some money. And so like a lot of college kids, they need a job. And eventually I graduated from Concordia, and I had just a fantastic mentor. His name was Steve Everett. He still lives here in town, and he made the grocery industry so exciting. And I thought, you know, maybe I'll just stick around for a couple of months and see what happens here. And opportunity after opportunity was presented to me, and I just jumped on them.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about what was it for you? Because when you go to whatever job you have in college, you're always thinking about is, okay, the thing I'll do to make a couple extra bucks so I can have some fun on the weekend. But what was there one thing in particular that kind of got you? That like was the switch that flipped for you, that where you said, okay, this could be my career, and it went from just something you did to something that you wanted to be?
Yeah, absolutely. When you have a great mentor like I did, and great people working around you, you start to see the opportunities that are right in front of you that a lot of times you don't see. Most people don't walk into a grocery store and look at Hornbachers and think, gosh, there are hundreds of people that have full-time wages that are doing really great in life and have wonderful opportunity. But you just see it for what's in front of you, and having a great mentor and having great people around you opens your eyes and lets you see the details behind it. And you realize that not only you get to work with a lot of great people, but it's a challenging environment that changes every single day. And you have new opportunities to try and tackle and overcome, and it becomes really kind of just a wonderful experience every day when I walk in the door.
Tell us a little bit about the Hornbacher's company structure. Who owns it? How does it get managed? You're obviously the general manager. You call out of the shots, but how does that work, Matt, at Hornbacher's?
We're owned by a company called Coburn's Incorporated. It's a family company. It's actually an ESOP, so we're really excited about that for our team members. And Hornbacher's is run locally. It does sit under my purview, and I have operations people and merchandising people, and we really get to look at our community and try and figure out what our community is looking for, and we try to run the best store we can to really reflect the great people that live and work here.
Boy, in your time with the company, Matt, I'm sure you've seen the changes. I think of growing up in North Fargo, going to my sister's house and riding from 2801 Hickory over to the Northport Hornbachers, because it was the neighborhood grocery store. And it's sad when I go by Northport now that I don't see the Hornbachers there anymore. But, boy, as time goes on, you've got to kind of change with the times. What's the expansion plan for Hornbachers? Are we going to, like, maybe one in Detroit Lakes?
Well,
just one there, maybe?
Yeah, we're always looking for the next spot for Hornbachers. We just opened up our Gateway West store out in West Fargo, our first one there. But we always have an eye on the Lakes Country and surrounding communities, because we think that we have a brand that resonates well with customers, and we'd like to share that with everybody.
I know when we first heard the news about Hornbacher's being purchased by Coburn's, a lot of people had questions. How is this going to go, and will it still feel like the same place? How has it felt to you on the inside as far as Coburn's kind of letting you and your team here still kind of call the shots locally?
It was the best thing that could have ever happened.
Really?
Yes. We went from my story has been we went from being part of Wall Street to Main Street. And it's a really different perspective. Getting to be part of a company that really shared our culture. We had our own culture within Hornbachers that really supported the community, really supported our team, and really believed in what we were doing. And sometimes Wall Street can get a little bit sidetracked and only think about short-term goals, and that doesn't reflect the people of the Fargo-Moorhead and Red River Valley area. So being able to connect in with a family company like this, and really the first conversation we had as it was going to happen was, we want you to run your business like you've always done. And that's a really exciting and flattering conversation to have, that
no kidding,
someone from the outside of the community sees the brand and sees the people inside of the stores, most importantly, as really a valuable asset to the community. And I think that's just wonderful to allow us to unleash our potential.
So do you see yourself as a competitor with Cashwise here in town then, since it's kind of part of the same deal now?
We are a competitor with everybody who sells groceries. It's some competitions are friendly, some of them are a little bit more heated,
I suppose.
But everybody inside of each store has their own P&L to run. We have an opportunity and a responsibility to run good businesses, and you can do that in a very friendly manner, but in the end, we all have to run great stores. There's
something to me about a Hornbacher's, and I don't know. I don't go to many of them. I guess there's 2 or 3 that I go to, but it just seems like I can't really explain it, but it's just, there's a touch of class there. The meat is always really good. The produce is good, and it's displayed well. When you walk in there, it's a sensory experience that you don't get every place. Is that... I'm sure that's a conscious decision. It doesn't happen by itself.
Yeah, it really is a conscious decision. We're trying to make the shopping experience something unique, something exciting, and something you want to come back for. And these are programs that a lot of them I've inherited along the way. I never forget that, this is a company that's been doing business here in Fargo-Moorhead for over 60 years. I didn't invent the wheel, but my job is to make sure we maintain it, make sure we get better, and really look back on our history of our founding and stay true to our cause.
There's a movement underway, I think, all of us, to use technology to simplify our life a little bit. People are shopping from home now for groceries. Does it matter to you if somebody comes in or whether they place the order at home? I know you get the business either way, but I'm sure you've done the math and you've done the research on if we get people in the store or whatever. So I'm sure you want to make that in-store experience very good. Tell us about the discussions you have with you and your team about that experience and how you relate to the customer.
Yeah. Online shopping is a way of life now, and it's part of convenience. We know that a lot of people are time stressed. We have both parents are working right now, and they have a lot less time to be able to take care of the needs that they have. So online shopping is always going to be an important part of the shopping experience. But that in-store experience, there are still people, and the vast majority of us still want to come in. We want to look at our produce. We want to see the meat. We want to be able to touch and feel things and really feel good about it. So it's really about recreating the experience. So when you do come into the grocery store, you have those extra options and that good feeling about where you're shopping and what kind of quality and service you're going to get along the way.
And Matt, I really like your West Fargo store. It's new. I'm from West Fargo, and what's really unique there is you've got the liquor store, which is nice. So if you're picking up some lobster or steak or whatever, you can just run right over there in one stop. And you've got a really nice selection, too. Are you planning on expanding some of your other stores to include liquor stores as well? And how is that going, being in the liquor business now, too?
Yeah, it's a new fun experience. We have the new one in Gateway West. We also have our Osgood liquor store in South Fargo. It's part of that total entertaining experience. We know that when people are having a great big dinner at home, there's a bottle of wine or there may be some beer with that tailgating. It's a great combination. We're fortunate in West Fargo. The liquor laws are different. They allow us to have it inside the store. That is a very nice convenience. As a retailer, we certainly would love that option across the market. But
so that's just a West Fargo thing.
Yeah.
Where do you have your stuff at Osgood?
It's right down the strip in the mall.
Fargo, it's down a different spot.
Fargo has some pretty tight liquor laws. There are
well, you need to go to a few meetings. Tell them how to do it right.
Yeah. I'm just glad again the Northport store survived the expansion.
Yeah, there you go.
North Fargo brothers and sisters are covered up there.
Matt, you Hornbachers, every time I turn around, you're doing something different in the community. It seems to matter to you to not just check the box and do some charity things here and there, but you really get behind things. You really get behind a lot of things. How do you decide when to say yes and when to say no? Because you could literally, and you get called, I'm sure, all the time. But talk about that part of Hornbacher's vision.
Yeah, saying no is probably the hardest part of my job, but saying yes is one of the most rewarding and fulfilling parts of this job. And again, this is not something that I invented. This is something that's been handed down to me from Ted Hornbacher, our founder, and Dean Hornbacher, my predecessor. This is about what we're supposed to do. A wise man once told me, he said, as a member of this community, we have a responsibility to support it. And that really summed it all up. It's more than business. It's about your neighbors. It's about being in a community and supporting it and making sure that this is the best community it can be. Because in the end, happy, helpful, thriving customers is the greatest thing for our entire business.
Do you keep, I'm sure you do, and you don't have to tell me if you don't want to, but have you added up what you donate to the community and different things you do throughout the course of the year?
Every once in a while we add it up just to make sure that we're still on track. Usually my problem is I've overspent along the way, but that's always kind of a good feeling. Even today, we're presenting a check to the Great Plains Food Bank for over $76,000 for the last fundraiser that we did. And it's those types of events, and that's the community coming together to support another wonderful organization to help people that just need a handout.
Yeah. You do cherries for charity, the bowling pins for, is that Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Big Brothers Big Sister, yep.
Something all the time there. Good work on that. Keep that up. You have an interesting perspective because you work there and you worked at one of the most basic jobs you have in the company. I'm sure that has helped shape your philosophy on how you try to create a great place to work for your people. Tell me about what you do to try to get good people and keep good people, because we're all struggling to do that in the metro area right now.
It does help my perspective. I've been a bagger, I've been a cashier, I've worked those entry-level jobs that really are the most important job that we have. Sometimes we get confused that the better title you have, if your office has a window or not, somehow you've arrived and you know everything. But I have the perspective of actually doing that and standing outside on parcel pickup in the middle of this wonderful Red River Valley winter when it's 20 below and loading groceries. I understand what it feels like, and I understand how to have that conversation with our customers that are coming in. They are the most important people that we have in that company every single day. If I'm lucky, I can touch 20 customers in a day. But I have cashiers and baggers and people in produce that get to talk to 50, 100 people. They get to put a smile on somebody's face. They get to help them out. They get to help them prepare a meal at home that's for a special event. Those are the people that really make this company move forward. And my job really is to support them and find out new ways and better ways to help them even do a better job than they are today.
And you make a good point there. As a frequent grocery shopper, there are certain checkers I have a relationship with. When they're working, I'll go in their line and I'll chit-chat with them, even if it's like two people back. I enjoy their conversation. They know me, and we chit-chat, and it just makes the experience that much better.
And that's exactly what we're looking for. It's that human connection, that community spirit that we have inside of the store that really makes it happen. And I've had more than one conversation with customers that want to wait in somebody's line. And from a business perspective, we laugh sometimes because, of course, we want it to be more efficient and we want everybody to get in and get home faster. But we have cashiers that can spin a story as long as the day is. And we would never want to part ways with them because they are such a great person.
There's a new survey out, too, that says senior citizens, sometimes they don't even talk to 2 or 3 people a day. So I'm assuming people like that who maybe don't get out that much really enjoy those types of conversations.
Oh, absolutely. When the buses come from the skilled care centers around town, it is a community event when they come in because it's 10, 15 people and it's coffee and it's talking all morning. It is just a great experience to watch.
That's where you want to get recipes.
Yeah.
Right there. When that bus empties off, well, excuse me,
if they can remember them.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah, of course, but
All right, Matt, as we wrap it up here, what does the future look like for Hornbachers? How many stores do you have now?
There are 8 stores here in the Fargo-Moorhead, West Fargo area.
Okay, and how many do you want to have looking 10, 15, 20 years out? Is there certain metrics that you want to hit that way? Do you want to grow a certain, add different product lines? You talked about the liquor thing. What's the future look like for Hornbachers?
Yeah, I think it's important that we continue to grow in the business. As Fargo-Moorhead grows, we'll continue to grow with it, but we need to look at areas outside of Fargo-Moorhead to make sure that we're expanding and really keep an eye open for those new innovations that are coming. We try to do that in new stores, and we bring it into existing stores because the grocery store that we grew up in and our grandparents grew up in is not the same grocery store we're in today. We're in the same business, but it's changed, and there's a little bit more theater, there's a little bit more excitement, and we just need to make sure that we're staying on top of that and making sure that we're giving our customers what they're they're looking for.
How far do you want that footprint to be? Do you want to be over Duluth, Milwaukee,
Trying to break some
Nashville?
news here, Hallstrom.
No, I just curious.
Yeah, when I look at the Hornbacher's footprint, I really think of the Red River Valley and expanding back into North Dakota, because it's a brand that resonates well within that area, and that's where I think we would have our best shot.
Okay. Well, we know there are good things ahead. The guy who's running the place does a pretty good job, so we'll take our chances with that. So, Matt, thanks for coming over today. Great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.